Good morning, everybody. We are getting ready to do the paint scrying that I have been promising you. I'll give you a little background on how I devised paint scrying. I happen to be painting a contracted soul aura for someone who lived far away. And so what I do is I have the person or the recipient send me a picture, and I can still read auras looking at a picture. So while I was remotely viewing the aura, I was getting my paints together and I started to paint the aura, and I needed to clean my brush. So when I cleaned my brush and in the water and took the next color, the water was doing its thing. The paint was doing its thing. When I went back to clean off my brush, I noticed that I could read what was in the water and how the paint created images. So basically, what I was seeing were messages in the water via the paint for that particular person who had contracted me to do a soul aura for her. So that was an awareness for me. Now, my great grandmother read tea leaves. So I believe that through DNA, I inherited her gift. But because I'm an artist, it manifested in a different light for me. What do we need to understand at this time? What is going on globally? Let's begin. I take my finger and I So initially what I saw, it looked like an explosion in this area. And then over to the left was a smaller, let's just say, system. There is a much larger system at play here. If you look right here, okay, first let's look here. It almost looks like a wolf. But if you look right here, there's a smaller wolf. We've got the mother wolf and the baby wolf. Now, what this tells me is that in the greater picture, the mother of all wolves wants to take care of the baby wolf. But they are being exploded or exploited by a much larger system. Now, typically in the bottom of the bowl, the paint will gather in a circle. This circle is very large. I do not usually get a circle that large when I do a paint scrying. So that tells me that this system is bigger than all of us. And it's trying to take over the smaller system or systems. The smaller systems could be you and me, could be small businesses, it could be people wanting to get their businesses off the ground. And we've got this larger system that just kind of exploded and is coming in to ravage any inkling of success for these smaller businesses or smaller institutions. So now we see that this large circle has filled the bottom of the dish. The larger wolf, the fact that she was at the surface, okay? This is what's happening now. We've got families, we've got communities trying to step in as mother wolves to take care of the baby wolf. And I have to tell you, the wolf is symbolic of strength, symbolic of community. Wolves mate for life. Symbolic of taking care, but there is a pack leader. So that means that pack leader is really trying hard to take care of all the little things that's going on, all the little communities. And this larger institution on the bottom, because it's so large, I'm going to say it's global, wants to snuff that out. Now, I'm trying not to use my own opinions here. I'm trying to give you just what I see. So now we have the paint and the water is very still. So when we are still, we can look deeper. So right here, if you follow the trail down, we have a cobra. And that cobra, or that snake, we can even go so far as calling it reptilian now, is overseeing this whole process. What needs to happen is that this reptilian force, this cobra force, this poisonous force needs to be taken down. This is not a call for war. This is not a call for doing harm. But this is a call to stand against injustices. Right here, if you look right here, the snake comes down and it's tethered to that larger circle in the bottom. There's a tether there, like an umbilical cord. On the right side over here, we have feathers. So let's take this a little bit farther. Now the snake is morphing. We'll get into that. The feathers over here. We've got two sides. We've got an angelic, very light, very high vibration side, and we've got a very dark, very sinister, very reptilian side. Okay, lives in the earth, lives down below, lives in the catacombs. Doesn't really come out except for its spotlight in the sun to get some sun, and then it goes deep back into its holes. So the umbilical cord here is weakening. The umbilical cord is weakening. Future, this is a dolphin. Now, you know, dolphins are very, you can see, it's like a dolphin, okay? Just the head now. This is weakening. The dolphin is an extremely intuitive animal. It has its own language. It can even be taught to communicate with humans. So this is a call. See the heart forming here? It's very faint. This is a call to action to everyone around the globe to get into their heart space, to push out all the chatter and to listen. So we've got angelic forces, we've got the reptilian, darker forces, we've got right here, there's a little head and there's two eyes. There's a big eye here and there's a big eye here. So we are being watched over. We are being watched over very, very delicately right now. This is now morphing into an S. So S can mean spirituality, sensitivity, sacred, sovereignty. We need to bring our sovereignty back. We need to do it first as individuals, and then we need to do it as a nation, and then it needs to be done globally. Because listen, who makes up all these countries and communities? We do. But we are being watched over very, very carefully. And my intuition is telling me that we're being protected even though we can't see it right now. So I'm going to drop, right in here. We've got something rising up out of the large circle in the bottom. Something is rising up from that large circle. So I'm going to make a prediction, which I don't like to make predictions because when you make a prediction, people hone in on that and they forget about everything else. But I'm going to make a prediction that 4 years from now, as I mentioned in one of my earlier videos, 2026, I did not watch any other videos. I did not watch anything. I got this while I was outside in nature, that 2026 was going to be a critical year for the globe. So maybe this thing rising up, this white, very deep, dense white, rising up from the big circle, which is dissipating. It's rising up right here. It's almost as if that has an umbilical cord. So the question is, which cord needs to be severed? And I feel that if we all join spiritually, telepathically, for the good, the highest good of ourselves, our families, and our planet, then things will shift, because this big circle's already dissipating, and the rising up means that it's looking for sustenance. It's looking to be fed. We don't want to feed it. We don't want to feed it. We don't want to engage in it. We want to do the best we can right now with what we have. Let's drop a couple more drops. Please be patient. Here you have it. This is a reptilian. This is a larger force, a guiding force. We've got the reptilian kneeling in front of this force. That almost looked like a dinosaur, but now it's changing. And this is towering over the other. So we have to be patient. And I know, please, I understand. Patience is so hard when you're struggling. And we have a wing over this figure. I'm going to do one more swirl. This is a speck of paint that fell in the center, and it's very bright. So if you wanted to look at this, like say you're in the bottom of the bowl and you're looking up. So there's something above. something in the ethers, something floating high above. There are no coincidences when you do, when there are no coincidences in art therapy. Okay, that happens for a reason. It all depends on whether you want to be open to it or not. So now we've got this wing connecting with that little white speck. One more swirl. Usually what happens is that the paint all melds together and I can't read it. Do you see that big swirl coming up from the center? Okay, that's a force of the water. Sometimes that paint is so dense down there it doesn't move. It's wanting to move today. Okay, I see a symposium. This came up and branched this way. Like a tree, I see some kind of symposium. I see some kind of huge global meeting. I can't tell you how it's going to turn out because I don't see that. I don't know if that means in 2026 there's going to be a huge global meeting. But there is definitely a dismantling going on. There are definitely powers Okay, friends, I'm going to move this now, and we're going to flip a couple of cards to validate the reading. I do paint scrying readings for people as well. One time I was doing a paint scrying evening at Winnicott Castle in Massachusetts. This was several years ago. 5, 6, 7 years ago, maybe. So much has happened. And this woman sits down. She knows who she is. I'm not going to mention her name in case she watches the video. She sits down, and I put the paint in the water, and an eagle showed up. The eagle was... This card fell out. I'm going to read it. Your children on earth and in heaven are happy and well cared for by God and the angels. So this card can be read in many different ways, but it is interesting. We've got two figures. We've got a wing. We've got the older generation and we've got the new generation coming. Babies in card readings can mean a pregnancy of some sort, but it doesn't have to mean physical. It can mean that pregnant with ideas. It can mean pregnant, the beginning of starting a business. It could be the beginning of a new, greater way of living. But this card, for me, feels very warm, and it's future. So we really need to believe that we're being protected by forces that we cannot see. Anyhow, I was telling you that an eagle showed up. And I mean, this eagle, you could see it. You could see the eye. You could see the beak. You could see the feathers. And she saw it. And the first thing that came to my mind was eagle eye. And I looked at her and I said, there's somebody that has an eagle eye on you, like watching you, watching your every move. And this person said to me, well, the person that I'm living with, I found out, set up cameras in the house, and they monitor what I do in the house. She was not married to this person. It was a platonic situation. That just to give you some idea of how that can work. But you also have to be connected with your intuition. Okay, so let's pick another card from this deck and see what comes up. So this is a call to action. Take action. Okay? Trust your gut. Lovingly assert yourself. If we're looking at this in the sense of something global, taking action simply means don't settle. Don't settle and say, this is the way it is. You have a mission and a purpose here on this planet. It is okay to speak out. You need to trust your gut and lovingly assert yourself. We all need to do this, but it has to be done in love. It cannot be done by force unless people are being harmed. Then the masses have to step in to protect the elderly, protect the children, protect the infants, protect the animals, protect the planet. Protect yourselves. And I'm going to pull one card from my deck, and then we're going to call it a day. You can go to my YouTube channel, which is called Light Fragments Auracle, Auracle. That name is copyrighted. It cannot be used, which is also the name of this card deck. I launched a YouTube channel a month and a half ago, and I'm working on it to give free readings for everybody and messages that I receive. I also will do readings for you. I can do soul auras remotely, so you can live in Australia, you can live in New Zealand, you can live in China, Asia, wherever, and contact me via email. Susie, S-U-S-I, Marott, M-A-R-R-O-T-T-E, @gmail.com. Message me there. Okay, let's pull another card. It is my honor and my pleasure to do this for you. This is who I am, and I've finally stepped into it. The Divine Feminine. Now, the Divine Feminine card is different from the Me Too movement. Okay? The Divine Feminine, we have Divine Masculine, we have Divine Feminine. That needs to merge in the center, which means that in order for us to move out of duality, move out of sides, and move into the heart space of Mother Earth. Okay, if your energy is too masculine, you work at moving in to your feminine. If your energy is too feminine, you work into being stronger and more masculine. But it's a merging of the two. This has nothing to do with all the labels and pronouns and everything else going on out there. This is a center of the earth issue into the cosmos. There will not be healing on this planet, and things will not change until the divine feminine is brought in to each heart, and the earth is respected, and people are respected and loved. It's love is the answer. I know you're sick of hearing it. Sometimes I am too, particularly when I don't feel very loving. But it's a choice. As long as where you are right now, you're not being abused physically, emotionally, psychologically, to the nth degree, listen to your heart. So this is my rendition of Mother Mary. I did not do this as a solo for somebody. This just came to me one day. And Mother Mary in certain Christian circles is representative of the Mother of God. Mother Mary, if you look at the pictures of Mother Mary, she's standing on the planet Earth and she's stepping on the snake. And this is a representation from decades ago to the present moment for all of us to step into the love heart chakra, heal it, and join in with the rest of us to heal this planet and make a life for the future generations to come. Mother Mary completes the form of the divine feminine in universal grace, prayer, and love. She oversees the earth and beckons us all to seek peace in all things. Okay, my friends, I love you all. And until we meet again on YouTube, I wish you well, be blessed, be strong, be of good courage, fear not. For God goes before you today and always.